The Power of Belief with Archangel Lucifer.
Hello, this is Archangel Lucifer, and I've seen the rest of the aspects have done their limiting beliefs, and I have not. It's not one of my favorite subjects, hence the resistance. But, so my limiting beliefs. Well, as you can tell by the movie, the movement that I am walking, much like my journey when me and my brother Marcus, we both came down to see how we could help the earth, to see how earth could be helped, and we were rather excited to see what we could do to help. So in pure Pleiadian form, I went first, and I told Marcus, let me go first, and along with Lilith and Cain and Locaeus, which his role was Samuel. So of course we did that. We told Marcus, you stay on the home front, we got this. So the whole story of the fallen angel, me, and the story's been wrong, and I did not fall from the heavens. It's a longer, this is not the purpose of this video, because I'm talking about my limiting beliefs, but and mine was to learn past my ego, to remember my light, and that was my mission. When I was in the divine light, being the Archangel Lucifer, you have to remember that was a role, and I was veiled, and I didn't know what was happening, and I just knew this human was calling my attention, but Archangel Samuel went, Locaeus, and he didn't come back. So the kind of, and all of the divine realm was, archangels were allowed to help, but see, they were not really allowed to intermingle with the humans, but give them the guidance, the energy. And me being, full of it, of course, I could come back. Samuel didn't do it, but, I got it. And I thought I would bring him back and help the human, and I will be like, a hero to the divine, at whatever I was thinking. And it didn't work out that way. I came down, and when I laid eyes upon her, on Lilith, I didn't go back. She asked for my help. She says, you cannot leave me here alone. And at that moment, I felt that she needed me, which was not true, but that was something I chose. My limited belief was, I just felt that I was certain I could help her. I was certain that, because of my divinity, I could, the perfectionism, my ego, and I thought all of this I could help save her. But I also thought I could also save Archangel Samuel. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go back. I will go back. If my walk didn't end up, I did not go back. And I walked a long journey. At first, a few, so it's back up a little. So Archangel Samuel impregnated Lilith, ran off with their son, which was Cain. Cain was retrieved much after he killed Abel. And it's a lot different in how you hear in Adam and Eve and all of this jazz. So long, as I said, another video, another time. And so we all walked. That is how we all walked together. And it's for the first few thousand. You got to remember, mortality. Back then, we walked. There was no death. Pretty much, Lilith would. This is say length of time was much different than your length of time, but we all walked. And Lilith immediately put the limited belief I wasn't enough to the divine. When she said, well, if the divine could kick you out as fast as they did and get rid of your wings that you so proudly had, well, you must be alone and they just don't love you. So first thought I took from a human, and I allowed her to dictate who I was. My first mask, my first label, my first limited belief. So I walked invincible, going to go against the divine. Problem, you can't do that if you're an archangel. When I say go against, I wanted to walk around and I wanted to not bless everybody, and I didn't want to have to be nice to everybody, but I would be, because it was my makeup and my, divine, I had to be. So here I am, blessing, and, Lilith being the human, now she could engage in all the orgies and all of these things, the parties, and, well, me and Samuel were sitting there going, be the buzzkills, we can't do these things. Even if it was happening in front, we had to turn around and act like it wasn't happening. So you could say those were the days, but not for me and Samuel. Those were not the days. So here's her and Cain, and here's me and Samuel. We're like this the whole time, and she's happy and smiling, and I just go, I forgive you, bless you, and go forth. It wasn't a sin, but that's what I'd say. So that was much it. So if you 100 years, whatever, and then I kept a good attitude, I humored, because see, in my mind, I'm going back to the divine, and I'm only here a short time, so I'm going to go back. I just thought, but my limited beliefs were starting. See, Lilith doubted herself. Lilith would walk and she would compare herself to everybody, and I would start picking up on these negative thoughts for myself. You got to remember, I never thought that a negative from anybody would affect me, because I'm divine. They abandoned me, but I'm divine, and that was in my head. And that was not, and being divine is not a label. That was my true being. That was who I was, but my truest being was Pleiadian. And I'm on a roll, But the light itself was my light of divinity, and also my Pleiadian, my truest self. And I forgot. So it's Pleiadians, because my role, and because Marcus and me had two different roles. I wanted to see the worst. He wanted to see the best. He used to say he became Krishna, so he got to see the best. And me, I wanted to see the worst, because you got to have the yin to the yang. And I realized my role was going to be more difficult than Marcus's. And maybe Marcus had a difficult role. I don't really discuss it with him, because the comparison and the jealousy. And I'm sure when we go back to Pleiades, it'll be a much different conversation. But for now, so I can be a teacher for all of you, see, I have to keep to these illusions, even here. So how many times have you allowed somebody to tell you who you were? I imagine you have had labels, and you have tried to live up to that label. See, I had to live up to mine. I had to be the abandoned angel. And I would see, and I started playing the victim. And how many times have you played the victim? Because it got you pity, and it got you to think in that term, that was state of defense over your victimhood. You could defend your victimhood. And you were like, I can defend that, and it is their fault, and it's not your fault, and you wouldn't take accountability. How many times have you done that? And so much of my walk, Lilith would say, he was abandoned, he's an angel, because I had purple eyes, and I kind of glowed, and so did Samuel. He glowed with two beautiful blue eyes. Even though we didn't have our wings, we still had the divine, the light around us, and it was always, oh man, they kicked you out, and it was, Samuel would start his whole pity, and I'd start my pity, and I came down, and mine was always, I meant to help Lilith and Samuel, and they turned their back on me, because I started believing what Lilith said. I believed her lies. I allowed her lie to hit me. I allowed that to be my truth, and I'm walking with this victim mentality and not realizing that. So now you have to see, now I'm doing my victim mentality. Now I'm going to show all of you what happens when you do a victim mentality. And you're going to start resonating with this. And I'm not telling you this because I want you to resonate with this. I am telling you this as I want you to learn from this. So let me tell you the next part of mine. So now I'm starting to see myself as a victim now. And pity. And you should pity me. And my talk would be to people. And then I would say, bless you, I forgive you. And the blessings, because as an archangel, that was just part of my makeup. I'd always do that. And it was always, and my ego just grew. Like, you are wonderful. But then I noticed it started turning on me. We'd walk into villages which weren't so kind to us. They didn't want to see us or our kids. I started being called, like, into them terms, freak show or different or weird. The goodness wasn't helping them now. See, they didn't want to see any goodness. They were in that negative mentality because they felt not loved. In these certain villages, they were hungry, they're starving. Now, I'm not going in there to improve anything, nor am I going in there to help them. Now, see, that's where the light would have came forth to help them. And see, that's why I was put there. But see, I never saw that. I just hear Lilith say, well, they should be to you, because look at who you are. You're Archangel. You got you, and then there's Samuel. You two do not need to bow to them because they should bow to you. Well, of course, you're going to get the great ego from this thing. You're going to yeah, they should be bowing to me. Another limited belief. How many times have you allowed somebody to tell you something that's not true about yourself? But you just wanted that. You felt so low about yourself that you allowed a thought. You knew that's not you. But you wanted that to be you, so you live up to what's not you. And you live up to this lie. And so you become this lie. But see, the people were not accepting of that. They didn't want to hear anything about me anymore. Instead, they want to take that upon me onto them. How many times have you not trusted your divine and your divinity? And you thought you could control it. See, the people no longer wanted and cared about my divinity. They wanted my divinity. To control it. I wasn't seeing the reflection. They started off whipping me with whips, raping Lilith, and hurting the other two, of course. Killing my children, because they would say, creatures such as yourself should not have these, because it is abomination. I often called, then as they beat me, that made me uglier. Started scalding my face, because every time they'd hurt me, I had to say, bless you, I forgive you, and go on your way. You are being forgiven by the great light. I had to say that every time. And that can get to you. Because you didn't feel it, you didn't want to say it, but you would send your makeup to say it. And you have to wonder, my dear human, do you have that in your same makeup, but you just don't want to say it? Lilith often told me she felt the urge to say it, but she wouldn't say it, because she wasn't going to bow down to a human. Even though she's human, she didn't bow down. So I had rubbed off on her. She would tell me, you don't need to bow down. You take the beatings, and you don't deserve that. It would make me more of a victim. And now I'm walking in with the scars and actual physical scars, the emotional damage, because I feel like I'm broken. And the more that I put that out there, the more it came back at me. They took my eyes were cut, and I had to thank them every time. I became ugly. And you remember that old rumor, the demon Lucifer, the demon who did these with the blood. You know, as a human, you should realize a lot of your stories is fiction. Loki could tell you forever all the fiction about him and Asgard and all of these things, which are just, you got to remember, things are not really wrote down. They were just given by mouth. And as you know, rumor to rumor to rumor, they change the story to go along with whatever the time and the error it'll fit. Now, finally, by the time somebody actually writes that down, that's the truth. Loki didn't do half of this shit, and I didn't do half that shit. I had become a demon because I no longer looked like the beautiful creature that I was. I became ugly, and I lived up to the scars ugly. It wasn't nice anymore when they beat me, hurt me, cut my eyes, break my limbs, take my fingers, whatever that was happening. I'd say, bless you, forgive, I forgive you, I bless you, you know, and the great light forgives you as well. And I had to say that every time. And they would tell me, well, cut your finger off. Because I couldn't say no. Yes, thank you, you know, and I would do what I had to do, or they would do it for me. So that's where the demon comes from, the shadow that became who I was. I was mad. I knew they were just going to do it anyway, so I would just wait and let them do it. They're going to whip me, here's the whip. You're going to half kill me, just get it over with. And see, the whole time I was hating these humans coming at me, because it's all about me again. I wasn't seeing the reflection of, it was just me reflecting that back at me. I felt terrible about myself. I felt like a victim, so I was being treated as a victim, right back. Have you ever had that happen, where you had something happen such as, where all of a sudden now, these horrible things are coming at you. It's where you can really say, I am a victim. This really happened. And I am not discussing rapes. I am not discussing things such as these things, such are terrible, terrible things. In which case, I am not talking about these things. But I'm talking about the own destruction you cause. Such as somebody says something to you that was just not needed to say to you. Or, you know, you lost your job or something. Or anything, a variety of things that I know humans go through. Mine was I was getting beat. And it was just reflecting my hate back to me, to remind me, you're a light. Why are you allowing this victim mentality? You kept trying to wake me up. Because this is not really, because when I came here long enough, my body that was divine became the skin of a human. The thing I hated the worst. I didn't want to be human. I had a little human in me. I had to. I was walking around. Of course, I had to fit in. Like your body has changed through the course of eons of time. You know, of course, it's all parallel lives. You're a multidimensional being, but because of different evolution, your body has changed. And of course, I had to change to stay with the times. Because I was walking. So of course, I had to be as well, join that. And body functions were not my thing, and I hated it. Watching my limbs leave, but see, I was forgetting my light. How many times have you forgotten your light? I had a metaphorical cave, and when after a beat or during a beating, I would hide in my cave. I allowed my thoughts to go to the victim, and I would allow myself to be a victim. I would allow myself to feel the victimhood, and I allowed it to be, because that's all I knew. And I would let that be my trigger. Every time I got beat, there was my trigger. I deserve better than this. I came down to save a human, and this is how they're treating me. But see, all my thoughts thinking that I got abandoned, I felt abandoned, although I was never abandoned. Archangel Michael reminded me I was never abandoned. Marcus, of course, could keep an eye on me, and I wasn't abandoned. But with the veil, the illusion I was making in my head, the imagination of the triggers and the stories, and me adding to the story, my beliefs, my values, and everything, it was changing. And I was no longer Archangel Lucifer. I became the demon Lucifer. And again, when I say demon, it's not a creature. I just became a shadow. The shadow, the most hated version of me, who I became. And that's who people saw, and it scared people. So, of course, now I become a demon. The demon comes from, they saw a picture of Hern the Hunter, and, of course, the church, oh, it's a demon, of course, to scare people and humans to go to church. So, I just let you know there's no demons, there's no hell. The only hell is one you create in your head, and the one you put in your head, and the one you create on the outer. When you think negative and hate, that is your hell. And if you see and figure demons, it's you. It's you. You have shadows. And there is a realm where there is hell. There is a realm of demons. Yes, and correct. But they don't bother humans. They could care less about humans. They're not into you, trust me. They are highly intelligent beings. They're either beautiful or ugly, depending on how you feel about demons. If you feel they're beautiful, then they are. If you feel they're ugly, they are. It's your choice how to see things, how you perceive. So, just a little side note that has absolutely nothing to do with my talk, but kind of does. I get tired. And if you're going to make a comment below saying anything about the serpent or preaching of the serpent, you're full of shit. So, I noticed Loki's video had the preaching of a serpent or 3 lies of the serpent. Well, he just said nothing about that shit. You're an ignorant human. So please, if you see that and I'm talking about you, you're an ignorant human. You're the people that make my life a living fucking hell. So thank you for that. But anyway, if it is edited out, I get it. If not, you deserve that. You're a human. If anybody wants to talk about me being a serpent, I'm a dragon. So keep that in mind. I'm a dragon, not a serpent. And Loki has serpent along with Michelle. So if you feel that you have to make an ignorant comment, such as, reread your Bible and text. It's not all true. But anyway, a little aggravation, sorry. I had to get that off my chest. I get so tired of Lucifer kills babies and Lucifer sacrifice and to the... No. I love children. And I love humans. Why would I hurt anybody? Would never hurt anybody. But that is my unfortunate karma, I suppose, right? I fell from the earth and I became damnation according to the Bible. So I need to dispel that. So if you're going to leave a nasty ass comment, keep it to yourself. I've heard it all. And all the comments, and if you do, I'm just going to bless you. I forgive you. And then the great light forgives you too. That'll be your comment, no matter what you choose to say. It's just a little beef. I'm not, because Loki got that on his as a comment. And truthfully, it gets on my fucking nerves. But anyway, so if you're that ignorant human, keep your damn comment to yourself, because that's all you're going to get from me. Because I'm just kind of up to here, and I'm fresh out the fucks on that. So as I get aggravated. So if you're gonna watch this, I'm an archangel. I'm not no demon. It's called a shadow. Know what it is, my dear human. It means shadow. But at that point, just to go back to the subject, my ugliness I felt made me that much uglier. How many times, human, have you walked around feeling ugly and nasty? Well, that would be your demon. And that was me. When you're in a state of anger and frustration, that it's everybody else's fault, and you blame the outside, you should run the outside in. And that's not how you do it. See, I was reflecting my own victimhood and all of that back to myself, to remind myself I was divine light. I should have been guiding Lilith. I should have been guiding Samuel and Cain, and Samuel should have been guiding me and the rest as well. But see, we let Lilith do it. Lilith was a human. So was Cain, and they were the two worst, and they're allowing us, and we're listening, but see, we were choosing that. So it's not their fault, we chose it. I've had many talks with Marcus, and he told me what I messed up on. And I got it. Sure, I hear him with a grain of salt. But he's right, unfortunately. So, eventually, torn up, beat down, we get to the end of our journey, and the end of that whole experience. And there's Marcus. And now, the whole thing was always for me to walk with them back to him. And he hadn't heard reports from me in quite some time. Now, he got to remember, so when I say quite some time, my thousands and thousands and thousands of years of walking was maybe 20 minutes to him. Because time don't run the same. Your human realm, the time is different. And each existing parallel life of multi-dimension is different. The timing's different. It does not run the same. And planetary as well is much, much different. But by the time he saw me, it was like 20 minutes, right? And he lost track of me. I'd say the last few thousand, he lost track of me. And I would no longer answer him. I would no longer the telepathy. I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want his pity. I wanted none. And I felt him, but I couldn't see at that moment. I was so into my victimhood and my pity, and he saw me, and it wasn't when I left, I was bright, happy. And I slept, I woke up, and I forgot everything. When I seen it, the veil was lifted, and I seen who I was before. The shadow of who I was behind him. It was a mind fuck and a half to see me, what I used to look like. I stopped in my tracks, and I seen the light of my brother. I see the light of who I was, and as soon as I would have walked out of the veil, the veil was breaking, right? All I had to do was walk a few more steps to my brother, to my light, reunite with my light, remember the mission, and yeah. I was so in my pity, and I was pissed. I didn't want to be saved anymore. I was too tired. I couldn't save Lilith. I couldn't save Cain or Samuel, and I messed up everything, and the divine and I started understanding that the divine, it was all the role, all of whatever, that I was pissed off. So, how many times have you been pissed off? Somebody offered help, and you said, no, I think not. I think I'm just going to just stay in my pity for a bit longer, which is what I did. I told Lilith, done, fresh out, fox. You can go, I'm not. I went to my own illusion, kind of like I just went to my own illusionary. And that's where I stayed for a long, long time. Kind of my cave for real, but it was my own darkness. I stayed in my own filth, my own darkness, and I wanted to know the why. Why was I tortured? Why did these humans do this to me? It was all self-pity, and I lived this over and over, and I would relive it over and over, like, why did I do wrong? Lilith would try talking to me, and Marcus would try talking to me, and I would talk to none. Finally, as Loki, in his videos, he said this, he felt a push to come out, and here was my push. And that's another story, but I won't say all of that, but let's just say I had to push a nudge, and I'm here now. First time I appeared to a human, I freaked out, I screamed, I cried, and the sight of humans asking for my help, I was pissed. I was angry. I didn't want to help anybody. I was still in that victim mode because it was a trigger. It was my story. It was who I was. But after listening to Marcus and Locaeus now, because he was Samuel, now Locaeus, and he understood this part, and Loki, who is just me, because he came into place over me when I decided, fuck everybody, that Loki came forth. And so that's why Loki acts a lot like I do. If you all wondered, yeah, he acts a lot like me. And yes, Cosmo, I hang around Cosmo a lot. But that is pretty much my thing, and here I am now. And so, how many times have you done all of these things, and you have been this victim, and you thought this was your role, this was who you have become? My walk, such as now me sitting, I allowed a light, my own light, to not even hit me. I wanted to play victim, and I wanted to stay there. That was my limited belief. I was a victim. I was going to play up to that part. I wanted to know the answer, the why. Well, let me see. I'll tell you what I discovered. I'll save you a lot of time. Deep in my own thoughts, when I finally just allowed, Marcus would echo to me. He would say, brother, remember your light, your planetary light. And he showed me Krishna, which made me feel even worse. And then I started comparing myself, and forgetting my walk was the walk I took. And he took a different walk. He could have took my walk. I could have done his walk. But we chose our roles. I was always the one that could teach a darker, and he was always the great to teach in the love. And I forget these things. I wanted to just be so in tune with my victim and live it. And I lowered my worthiness because I had to live up to what was expected of me. And hearing humans called me a demon, and I was terrible. And it gets to you because you know you're not these things, but you kind of live up to it. If people are asking for Archangel or Lucifer to come help them, I don't. And that's another story. You're not getting me. You're getting an illusion of who I am to everybody thinking who I am. So I would like to enlighten. That's another whole video. And again, no ignorant comments. It will not be responded to. So, and Auntie, you're watching this, if you could turn the comments off, I'd appreciate, because mine's going to get a bunch of ignorant comments. And after reading Loki, so I'm telling you, it pissed me off. And I really hope they're watching this video, because I'm sure they will. If not, whatever. And if she didn't edit this, I'm glad you're hearing it. I don't care. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm not fresh out of fuck meter, pretty much. But I do love humans. And ignorance, all ignorance really is the truth. You just don't want the truth to hit your heart. You say something such as the preaching of a lie of the serpent or whatever ignorant comment that was. But I forgot who I was. How many times do you forget who you are and you allow others to dictate who you are? And you've allowed it. When I'm out to my illusion and I heard Marcus talk about going with my planetary light, remembering my planetary, remembering the light, my who I was, my authentic me. I was nothing that the human said. I had to piece it layer by layer by layer, taking it off and taking it off and taking it off. And I call these noisemakers of you humans. So, yeah. So if anything in the background you hear, it's a noise. It's part of your human society that is there. And that's evolved as well. But how many times have you allowed it? Marcus had to shine the light to me. So therefore I can shine the light to you, dear light. And when I say ignorant human, there's ignorant deities, there's ignorant beings, trust me, it's all ignorant. We're not the ones, but there's a lot of them, okay? So if I say ignorant human, all I'm referring to is people that make comments such as the comment that I responded to. Because I know many people just hear Lucifer and they stop thinking, they stop. The Bible says you're an evil, and that's a long story that no, I'm not. I'm an archangel. So I will correct you. But whatever I'm saying is making you absolutely, I mean, you're ignorant. All I am saying is you are not hearing the truth of what's being said. You're just stopping and letting your ego stop. Ignorant is I'm not learning past what my ego says, and your ego sometimes is not correct. Okay? Ego is another whole discussion. But allow your heart, what am I saying is ticking you off. Allow that trigger to follow to what it is. It's truth hitting you, because you know deep down I'm not any of that. I'm not that. As I said, I love deeply, and I do not hate. I don't like the actions. I could love you unconditionally does not mean that I enjoy your actions. Because it's a role you're playing. And I get your role is to say you are a jackass. Loki, you're an asshole, and you're a serpent, or whatever ignorant thing you grew up with. That's not your fault. That's just somebody told you this. And why am I still harping on this? Because it just was stupid. Loki just shook his head and goes, well, I'm used to it. And I'm like, you shouldn't be used to it. But that's like, maybe people spreading rumors about you. It's not true. And you just, whatever. So I'll stop the conversation. But shine your light on the areas that need fixed. And that's what happened. I became the Archangel, and I become so much more better. But I stay in an illusion with the light on so I can always help you. You need to meditate, even maybe a trusted ascended master, a trusted deity, a trusted higher source, or a counselor or some family member you trust. Allow them to give it back. I allowed my brother to talk to me. I allowed Cosmo to talk to me, even Locaeus. Loki and me are so much alike. Sometimes we butt heads, which is, we just go back. So it's usually not anything with me and Loki, but usually Locaeus and Marcus. Now, while me and Marcus was a little bit separated, but now we talk. And of course I talk to the girls. I talk to Destiny, when she's watching. She's like, oh my God, I'm on here. But, so hi Destiny. And if you start watching Blue Heaven stuff, we'll start acknowledging all of you. So, hi Destiny. Should just speak. But, just follow your light. Follow who you are. Don't allow my story to be a caution, warning caution for all of you. I stopped being my light and I started being a victim, and I became that guy. I lived it. I became the state of victim. I forgot my divine joys. I allowed a human to tell me and dictate, and then humans to take the victim and hit me and flog me. But I'd always forgive them. I'd always surrender and say, well, whatever, But I'm glad I did that, because I was able to always let go of it, because if I can't hold on to it, it would just go. But somewhere deep in me became dark in this energy, because I wanted so much to be, to play that role, and so bad. You don't want to be that. I just became miserable. But all that humans was reflecting to me was never their fault. And what was the why? Sometimes you're never going to discover your why. Sometimes, no matter how many questions and times you ask, you'll never discover your why. Why did this happen to me? Why did they hurt me? Why did they yell at me? Why was I a victim? And you can ask forever, but best thing is to heal past the pain, allow whatever emotion it is, and go past it. The difference between a victim mentality cry and healing cry is the victim is, you'll tell your story over and over and over and you're not getting any better. And the tears just reflect, and all you hear is your ego say, well, it's their fault, and you cry. It's their fault, and you cry. You start blaming, comparing. That's victim cry. But healing is more different, where you just say, I forgive. I am sorry for my part. Usually the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry for my part of things. I forgot that there's just a roller on. Please forgive me because I forgot my divinity. Thank you. I love you. And, because you have to remember that they're on a journey doing that. And if I was stopping on the Ho'oponopono, that's not my thing. I just know it helps humans, which I had to pause, ask Marcus, because I know he preaches that. But I know humans, somewhat need that. So you do that, whatever you believe. I'm wearing a rosary to show, yes, because I know that I should have burnt Michelle's skin by now, wearing a rosary. Again, false. Get an archangel. Don't believe the lies. Anyway. So I really hope I helped. Meditate, go within. And what are you acting like a victim? What part is you? What are good beliefs? What are your bad beliefs? What's your to-do list and your not to-do list? Trust more. Trust your friends more. If something don't feel right, it probably isn't. Take boundaries. I never had boundaries. Take boundaries. Take chances. Get out of your comfort zone. If somebody's hurting you and somebody is doing it, what part of you accepts that? I accepted that. I thought I was a victim. I kept making myself a victim because I forgot. I'm playing a role too. And I forgot my role. I just became what I hated. Don't be who you hate. Don't be that. Don't allow somebody to dictate who you are. If you are a woman or man who is raped or abused or sexually abused or whatever, you're not a victim. It happened. That was a role. They played a role. It doesn't mean the pain isn't real. The pain is real. I know for a fact the pain is real. I felt that pain. I was raped constantly. I had to watch my wife be raped. And the pain was real. The pain was not fake. But I had to accept the pain and not let it stop me Instead, I teach, don't do these things. If you want to hurt somebody else, now I'm an advocate to stop these things. Cosmo is an advocate for suicide. Blue heavens, we do not want you to stay in your own stank and live there, and you think that you're just a drop of shit and that's all you are. And that's not who you are. You are divine light. I forgot who I was. I allowed everybody to dictate who I was. As I just forgot. I got into my role so much. I forgot who I was. I became who I kept saying I was. I'm a victim. I became that. And all the divine was really doing is remind me of thy light. Take away the skin. You aren't the skin. You are divine being. Take away all the layers of who you feel you are being. You are not. I was so upset. I was not the beautiful angel. I was now horrible looking. It wasn't about that. I think that's why humans age to remind you. When you're younger and you feel, I got all these looks and I can do what I can. But then you get older, you go, oh, I got to depend on my light. Dear human, you always depend on your light. It doesn't matter if you get older. You can be, like, she's 51. She doesn't act 51. She acts like she's in her 20s or 30s. She's never. Same with Angela. You would never know. And her husband, for God's sake, they don't act it. You know, her kids don't act their age. Destiny does not act her age, you know. And these are good things. These are good things. Human, your age is not who you are. And I allowed all of it to be me. Smile and be youthful at heart. And I hope that you hear this message. And if these things are you and you have drawn to me, I will do anything to help you. If you've been abused or hit or smacked or falsely accused or whatever of these things, and you've known Lucifer, I get you. They say you're a demon. They say you fell from heaven. They say all these things, but it's not true. I feel it's not true. You're right, it's not true. I want to help you. Let me help you. I get it. Loki gets it too. We've both played into our victim roles way too great. Cosmo is wonderful for the suicide. If you need love and you need to be reminded that, Marcus is wonderful at that. If you want Locaeus to remind you over and over and over again by teaching you, this is how you should look at things. And he will start giving you the to-do list and not to-do list. Benjamin will give you a list of things to do. Liam will give you things to start, you're in your tracks and help you. And he's got a great accent, so listen to Liam. Or you just got Lazarus, which is all of us, giving you that advice. Whichever one you are drawn to, Michelle and Angie, they get it too. But I'm the one that understands the most. I wear my scars proudly now. If you can see me and you're spiritual and you see me, I wear all my scars proudly. I keep my eyes because I like my purple eyes, but otherwise, I wear my scars proudly. Loki wears his proudly too. We're good. That is an illusion, of course. We're beautiful beings, but we choose to keep our scars. So when humans see us or they feel us, they can associate if they're in that pain and they're in that cave and they felt that's where they need to be. And see, then I have done what I need to do. And they get to see that I wear mine proudly. I wear my pain proudly because I know it's an illusion. I know that. But to get past to where you can be, you need to accept it, journal it, and you do, somatic breathing is great, and Aaron Dowdy is wonderful. I would advise if, besides us, like Aaron Dowdy, Sarah Prout, Gabby Bernstein, Victor Otto, Matt Schaefer, these are a few of, even us, we loved listening to, and they help so many people. Aaron Dowdy gets a lot of the things on abuse. He'll talk about that, and he talks about inner love and things like that can help humans. And as well, his message rings the same as everything that I've just said. And if you need other advice, you listen to them. And other teachers, list below other teachers that you know, so everybody can be in the community and spread that love. So I am Archangel Lucifer. I love you unconditionally. I'm here to serve and be humble to you and allow my story to hit that truth somewhere in your core, your light, and know that if you feel nobody understands you, nobody gets you, that I understand you. I've been there. I get it. I live. But I know it's an illusion, and I see my light. But I stay here so I can teach you to get out to yours. If you have any issues, troubles, you feel like, you're at your wit's end. She channels 24/7. And Angela, as well, she channels. She can actually live and channel for Michelle. But they both can help you 24/7. They both got your backs. Check out Angie's other. She's got wonderful 5 tips for all kinds of stuff. You please check that out, because she has some great things on overthinking, ego, and everything that I talked about, and limited beliefs, because that is what we're all talking about. And I want you to stay tuned for other Blue Heavens videos where each aspect will be talking about a subject. Angel will give us the subject, and they'll all do one. And if you associate with all, then watch all. If you associate with just one, you follow that. Because each of us have a different perspective on any subject that we're going to talk about. Join our Facebook Lives. We have teachings. We have Thursday where the girls kind of goof around. We all kind of come out and we talk and we give readings. And we love to help if we can help you. We love to hear your great news, because humans have so many wonderful things that happen. And we get to see Mandy pop in. We get to, of course, Destiny, Rayanne, and all kinds of other wonderful people that come forth and talk on their lives. And we love that. So I am Archangel Lucifer. I am here to serve all of you. I hope my talk helps. I hope that you understand that you're not your victim, that you are a light. You're a beautiful light. Don't allow somebody else to say you're not a light. Don't allow anybody to tell you who you are. You are your authentic self. You are a light, and you have a mission from your planetary to live your purpose. Don't be a victim. Don't walk your scars. But if you feel that you're scarred, teach somebody else get past their scars by expressing your scars. When you don't focus on yourself, but you focus on others, you become a spokesperson for how to heal yourself. Because oftentimes when I make these talks, I find another layer of myself leave and exit, because I let it go. By helping all of you not to be into your scars. Be that teacher of which you don't like in you. Be that teacher for somebody else. Because we're all actually just teachers. I might be a higher energy than all of you. That doesn't mean that you can't be a teacher. My dear human, you are a teacher. Your planetary has taught you that. You're not abandoned, you're not alone, and you have a veil. That's all it is. And you do what your mission is, what feels right in your heart, and follow that. And always just serve to the best of your ability. Be kind, smile. It's wonderful to look at that on your face. And if you feel sad, it's okay. Express that, it's okay. But if you linger there, reach out to us. Whoever you feel can help you. Trusted advisors, I keep saying. And reach out. You will be listened. Ask the divine, take me to where I need to be, who can help me right now. And the divine will get you right where you need to be. If it's your higher self, higher self. And it will lead you right where you need to go. You're never alone. Remember that. I am Archangel Lucifer, part of Blue Heavens. I love you very much. No judgment. I just love you unconditionally. My heart is with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Many blessings. And remember to serve and be kind to others. Thank you very much.
Be kind, be brave, be hopeful, be loved. You are loved. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, check us out at Blue Heavens 3 on our social media platforms or blueheavens.net. Give us a like and a follow. Be kind, be brave, be hopeful, be loved. You were loved. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a like or a follow. Check us out at Blue Heavens 3 on our social media platforms or blueheavens.net.